Happy Tuesday. I am coming at you from my office again, and I wanted to touch base today on something very simple, but can be very confusing because we are not told as parents the process. It's not laid out for us very often. Some teams do a fantastic job of laying it out for us, but I just want to talk about the IEP process in a nutshell. So there are about 4 steps to the process. The first being a formal request for evaluation. I strongly encourage families to put this request in writing and have your advocate help you write that. That should go to the school psychologist, copying your school principal and the teacher of your child. And that request should spell out your concerns. Then you will be asked to have a meeting called the MET1 meeting. MET, M-E-T, is a multidisciplinary education team that consists of a resource teacher, your child's general education teacher, school psychologist, a district representative, which can play a dual role, can be a resource teacher, can be a principal, assistant principal, dean, and then also anybody that you ask to be at the meeting for evaluation, meaning if you're asking for a communication or speech eval, the speech therapist for the school would be there. If you're asking for occupational therapy to take a look at sensory or handwriting, then the occupational therapist would be there as well. So it can be a pretty big team. One reason my clients have told me it's good to have an advocate by your side. And then when you go into that team, you're going to be justifying your request for evaluation. You're going to talk about your child as a team. Your child has so many strengths and wonderful things, but this meeting is going to be focused on their struggles and their learning delays or lagging skills. So that meeting is to talk about the need for evaluation if it is showing in an education setting. If your child has multiple diagnoses from a medical doctor, that does not qualify them to have the evaluations or for services in the school setting. It has to be affecting them in the school setting. So the team will take a look at that and speak to that. At the end of that meeting, if it goes well, your child will then start the evaluation process. So you'll sign consent to evaluate. And then the next meeting will be held within 60 days. The school has 60 days to evaluate and meet with you to tell you those findings. That's called a MET2 meeting. The MET2 meeting is the same team. It will mainly be the psychologist talking a lot about the evaluation, all the good things and the lagging skills that they're seeing with your child, the student. And it will also be any occupational therapist, resource teacher, anyone who evaluated your child. And at the end of that meeting, it's a very important part. It's called the determination of eligibility. I get a lot of clients at this juncture. They maybe got to this point, and then when they got to that point, the team decided that they were not eligible for an IEP or a child with a disability who would need specialized instruction. The parents were not really informed going into the meeting or didn't realize that this meeting was a fork in the road. And if they did not qualify, they would not be going forward with the IEP. It would be a kind of hard no. The family will then receive something that's called a prior written notice that tells them that they're formally denied for an IEP. And it's pretty difficult to start that process going again. Can be done. Still contact me if you have questions. But in general, to get to that point, obviously I'm biased, but I suggest working with an advocate. And then at that juncture, we will look at everything beforehand. You can ask for the evaluations in a draft beforehand, and we can look together. Advocates and families often look to prepare to say, does this child have the need for an IEP? Would they be better suited with the 504? And if the need for an IEP is there, then we would strategize and advocate for that at that meeting. At that MET2 meeting, it ends. If it is determined that the child qualifies for an IEP, then there'll be a 30-day period. Within 30 days, the school must then write the IEP. And that's where you're going to get the services and the goals and the accommodations your child needs to thrive and grow in the school. So I hope that in a nutshell helps. That's the process. It can be a little bit of a special education maze. So make sure to reach out if you have any questions, and have a great week. Thank you. Bye.